Zooming into our water network, that is what it looks like. How did we get there? You may be asking. You go and select the water module. No need to import or export. And then you could go and graphically draw this in. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to convert a CAD drawing into our water network so that you can see how we get to this stage of the design. I go to File, Project Settings. Let's bring in an empty example. Let's go and turn on the CAD entities that we then convert into our water network. Before we do the conversion, we can go to Settings, Pipe Defaults, go and specify which pipe defaults to use. We've got over 2,212 pipe options. Looking at the node defaults, if we go to Settings, Node Defaults, inside Civil Designer, we've got preset demand patterns to choose from. Should you not choose to use one, you can use the uniform pattern. Browsing through the different options, looking at different demand patterns. The demand through the day would vary depending on the population using the network. Early in the morning, demand at its lowest. As people start waking up, the demand picks up. And throughout the day, it drops and picks up. You can browse through the different demand patterns and utilize them at different points within your network. Having set up those two settings, you can convert this CAD drawing into our water network. We do so by going to File, Import, Convert Drawing Entities, and then specifying which CAD layer you'd like to use for the different water entities. In this example, I'm just going to use the water lines CAD layer, and let Civil Designer populate the rest for me. If I've got additional layers for multiple pipes, I could specify that as well. And I'm presented with this confirmation dialog box. If I'd like to go and insert reservoirs, I go to Graphical, Draw Reservoirs. Select the reservoir, right-click, go to Water Operations, Edit Reservoir Data. Civil Designer uses project information and automatically populates this, but you'd obviously want to go and put in your own project requirements. Selecting connections, you can go and specify which pipes are connected to the inlet and outlet or both. You could specify things like the shape of your reservoir. And if you've got attachments, you can incorporate them into water-specific entities. It could be on-site information, it could be a water report, locality maps, etc. Putting in your pump station, you go to Graphical, Draw Pumps, select where you want the pump to be, select it, right-click, Water Operations, Edit Pump Station Data. Got a whole catalog of pumps. You can go and customize your catalogs. If you go to Select Pumps, specify the required head in your network, as well as the required flow. Click on Search. Civil Designer goes to the pump catalog and gives you the different options available. Once you've selected the most appropriate pump, click on Select. You could, for instance, turn on the controls for your pumps relative to the rest of the network. Alternatively, if you prefer to put in a borehole, you can delete the pump, go back to Graphical, select Draw Borehole. As before, select borehole, right-click, go to Water Operations, Edit Borehole Data, where again you would go and specify your pump information and the controls. To save us time, I've got a project that already has the correct borehole and reservoir information, so I'm going to bring back that original water file, going back to Project Settings, bringing back the original file. With the sewer module, we created parcels. We went to the survey mode, we went to parcels, and then we created parcels from stand numbers. We could utilize those parcels within the water network to put in our house connections. We do so by going to Connections, Creator automatically, specify which parameters to use, order of precedence, and then click on Start. It goes and puts connections with the confirmation. If you'd like more information with regards to those connections, you can go to Data, select Connections, and then browse through the different options. Looking at fire hydrants, you can go to Graphical, Draw Hydrants, right-click, Hydrant Defaults. Looking at the different categories, you can go and add your own categories. That circle around the cursor shows the extent that the hydrant covers. In a similar manner, if we go to Graphical, Draw Street Taps, we can again go and right-click, put in Street Tap Defaults. This creates quite a bit of information. If you want to turn that off, you go to your water display settings, looking at the street taps, and then switch off the circle as well as for the hydrants. While I'm here, I'm going to go to my pipe defaults. I'm going to select everything I've got and delete that. And I want to go and customize the pipe display information according to the flow in my network. Q is equal to right click and select flow. Changing the color scheme, selecting flows, and then changing my increment with the customizable color wrap. Anything with low flows will be blue. Anything with the higher flows will be red. Before we see the changes, we need to analyze. Before I analyze, I want to show you that if we go to Tools, we can go and view the vertical alignment, where Civil Designer will automatically insert your air and scour valves according to your placement parameters. Even though it's inserted the air and scour valves, you can also manually insert and delete the automatic options. I have the option of going to Analysis, checking for any errors. If I've got no errors, I can run a single step analysis where I make provision for minimum, maximum, and average demands. Alternatively, I have the option of a time simulation. Within the time simulation, you can run a simulation for up to 7 days. Civil Designer will also calculate your chlorine concentration within the network at different periods. If I choose to show the reservoirs, the reservoir water levels will be displayed throughout the simulation. Click on Start, looking at the water level within the reservoir. If I click on Messages, if I've got errors or warnings, they will be presented here. I can, for example, select a warning, then click on Edit or Show. If, for instance, my reservoir is running dry or there are pipes that are not connected to the main line, it will be pointed out to us. Not forgetting that Civil Designer will calculate your quantities, your bends and junctions, as well as your connection quantities, where it will even calculate the amount of saddles within your network. If you want to view the results, you can go to the results browser, select the latest time simulation, and as you go and select the different times in the results browser, the Q values and the pipe colors will update every 15 minutes. You also have the option of plotting the entire network or selecting portions thereof. In order to plot it, we go to Plot Generate, select which of Civil Designer's customizable sheet file you'd like to use, the sheet size. You can specify a stop and start chainage if you choose not to plot the entire section. Specify the scale to be plotted as well as the region. I'm opting for a water schedule. Looking on the top right-hand side, we have the water schedule. We have the plan region as well as the long section that is completely customizable. There you have it, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as what we did putting it together for you. Please let us know if you've got any additional questions. Also, please do visit our website, FAQ page, should you require any other functionality explanations. Goodbye for now.